to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. You know, beloveds, so much is being rolled out, so much is happening, and you can literally miss it if you're concentrating or focusing on the wrong thing, because everything is trying to pull your attention from focusing and concentrating on yourself and on you you having, maintaining your rights, building your own next, etc., etc. There's so much that is being done. There's so many distractions, beloveds, that are out there to make you forget the real issues that are going on, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. But please go ahead and like and share this video, beloveds. We have been having some kind of shadow banning from YouTube, so definitely go ahead and at least like, and make sure you do the same for a lot of the Black consciousness community. We are having such collectively, we're having such an impact. So many of us are awakening, so there is of course a fear in allowing us to continue to reconnect and come back together. Special shout out to our Patreon family. We appreciate, love you so much. So I don't know if you guys have been noticing this story of this missing Muzungu woman called Gabby Petito. And the reason I bring it up is because there's been so much, even I got into it, there's been so much over coverage of this story, the missing blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, and the husband, and it was given such a wide coverage. And it's even that has received news where even the New York Times came out and said, the news media can't shake the missing white woman syndrome. That's what many of the critics have been saying that many major news outlets highlighted the case of Gabby Petito and gave it so much attention when in actuality, beloveds, about 50,000 women probably went missing around the time that Gabby went missing. And this shows you the importance of the narrative. That's why I'm bringing you this story, beloveds, because they were receiving criticism where even the Asian community was saying some Asian women have disappeared, but mainly melanated women are disappearing at such a high rate. Many women and children are disappearing at such a high rate, and they never get the attention they deserve. Beloveds, organ harvesting is real. Womb harvesting, the black woman's womb is the most powerful womb in the world. All these things, beloveds, but we haven't seen, it never makes news. And of course, the different news agencies were trying to argue that they pick what the people want to hear. But it also brings to light the fact that many of the managers and the decision makers of many of these mainstream media organizations are Muzungus, and Mzungu women have also penetrated those upper echelons. We're like 1 in a million. And then the few Black networks that we had, I think BET was even sold to a Mzungu. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But where is our voice? Where is our narrative? Because people get so emotional, and a lot of people were like, it was larger than life, this whole story. But there's another angle to this, beloveds, because I really believe that this is a major PSYOP. And people have actually talked of seeing different crisis actors that have been involved in other major events. And this is distracting people from the fact that, Biden is releasing major mandates that will impact people's lives. That will mean that if you don't take certain decisions, you won't be able to buy food. You won't be able to earn a living. You won't be able to visit the doctor. But all of a sudden, the media is just blowing this story totally out of proportion. And unfortunately, they say she was found, her body was found, they're calling it a homicide, the boyfriend's disappeared. But if you look closely, beloveds, there's so many Illuminati connections. Like they say, the policeman who, because, they'd been stopped. Please look into, I'm not going to get too into this story because I wasn't even actually going to cover it. So, but let me give you, for those who have not heard about it till now, basically Gabby Petito and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie, they went on a cross-country like van life tour where they were recording their journeys, etc., etc. And it looks like Brian progressively declined mentally and was abusive to Gabby. So the police actually stopped them after the report of a domestic dispute where some guy called in and said that he had seen Brian hitting Gabby in the middle of the streets. And so he called the police, and then they stopped the car, and Gabby was totally distraught. But the funny thing is, throughout this whole thing, this whole banter, and you see how the body cam of the police, at the end of the whole thing, the policeman who was handling everything, he actually had a 666 on his thumb. And I told you guys, Floyd was a PSYOP as well. But like, so, and when they looked at like, they say the Brian Laundrie has quote unquote Zionist connections, all this stuff, beloveds. But this is a massive distraction. And this is not, and it's serving multiple purposes. First of all, it's supposed to serve the propaganda agenda of, we all suffer, even us Mzungus, we get kicked up. Everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is, suffering in this world to create this like collective feeling like everyone is a victim. So that's one angle. But the other angle is it shows you, and to see the overwhelming like search efforts for Gabby's fiance, overwhelming, like they've gone to such extent, and then it looks like a movie, but it's supposed to reinstate, beloveds, the Mzungu woman as the highest, when it's actually the opposite. And it's supposed to re-emphasize, because I really feel this is to rally together their people, although their people are the ones mainly criticizing this. And then you can only tell stories through your own lens. So the fact that so many of us are in their networks, watching their news, when it doesn't really have anything to do with us, doesn't represent us, doesn't care about us, doesn't tell our stories, would definitely not give us this kind of coverage. But because you tell the stories through your own lens, so you almost can't blame the Mzungu upper management for having that stance, even if they're not part of the Illuminati agenda. The fact that they've been schooled in the universities, brainwashed to believe a certain thing, that's what they're promoting. And that is I know, their false supremacy. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Until next time, tuko pamoja.